Caddo School Superintendent Dr. Lamar Goree. Hey, Dr. Lamar, how are you today?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
I'm getting younger every day. Let's start with...
I believe that.
Thank you very much. Let's start with the plan. The 5% raise. Is this across the board? Teachers only? Every employee you've got? Who's going to get the 5%, and how are you going to do it?
So we're so excited to have an opportunity to really show appreciation to all employees, at the same time really positively affect our abilities to recruit and retain people in our system. The raise is a 5% raise across the board. And we're funding this raise. You know, one thing I talked about a lot was that it's very challenging to do a pay raise when there is no identifiable new monies coming in. So what we had to do, Robert, was actually look at the monies we have and decide how we could spend them differently.
So
we've made some,
this is more than teachers, right?
Everybody, yeah, every person except myself, of course, as superintendent. I'm not included in the raise, but everybody in the system. All employees, from our cafeteria workers, our bus drivers, our principals, and, of course, our wonderful teachers.
So what's the plan? How are we going to do this?
So what we've done, Robert, is if you look at what we've been budgeting for our health insurance as far as our premiums and our payouts monthly, we found that we've had a very positive trend where we were able to capture money take a one-time $5 billion payout from that, and look at how we're budgeting that as we go forward, and we were able to fund the pay raise. We feel very comfortable that we've made some very smart decisions with our health care, things like how we're managing our prescription drugs, so much preventative care that we have in place, that since we've gone self-funded, we've seen a decline in what our monthly premiums are, but we had never really reduced what we were budgeting for that area. So we've made that reduction, and it would just require us to, of course, to continue to monitor those costs, but we feel very comfortable that this 5% pay raise at a cost of $12 million will be sustainable.
So no reduced insurance coverage for your employees either, right?
No reduced insurance coverage, also a commitment not to increase premiums next year as well as this year. So I do think that some of those things, too, go to really making this a true raise, because our goal is for our employees to see this raise. A few years ago, we did a 2% raise, in fact, 2 years ago, and I tell you, healthcare costs and other costs just ate it up, so employees barely remember that. Our goal is that they will remember this raise and will truly see this as a way that our school board and administration is saying thank you for all the wonderful things you do for our children.
The cuts that are mentioned are, some staffing. There's also listed as cuts to the breakfast and lunch programs. Describe how those are being cut.
Now, what you see there is that, remember, we're in a part of the CEP program where we are providing free breakfast and lunch to students in certain schools because of this federal program we're a part of. Because we're a part of the federal program, we're now not required to budget as much money to support our cafeteria needs, because those needs and costs have been reduced. So that's money that we budgeted last year that next year we won't budget in that sense. And what was the other one you asked about, Erin? Remember you said cafeteria, and what else?
We talked, staff cuts. Where are we looking at in terms of staff cuts?
When you look at, for example, I'll give you an example. Our finance department is looking at some restructuring where we're really, and we've done this in academics, but when we looked at finance this time, as well as some of our divisions and operations, we're looking at how can we get more work done with fewer people? How can we be more efficient with what we're doing? How can we more effectively utilize technology so that we are paying less people? And in that respect, we're able to make some reductions in our staff. And what you'll see in an organization of this size, you will always see a constant conversation around how can we be more efficient with our human resource, considering that's the resource that costs the most money.
More done with fewer people, what you just said. Is this in any way, will this be affecting class size?
Not at all. We did nothing. It's so excited. We did nothing to affect class size. We did, that was, in all surveys that we've done, and we worked with several groups. We worked with teacher groups. We worked with administrative groups. We worked as a school board, and there was a clear message that we must protect the size of our classes at this season. Now, again, I can't say that'll always be the case, but today, this year, we have been able to protect the class size.